What is going on, guys? Nash here, and today we are going to be looking at the best early game airdrops and perks that you can pretty much easily win with and have like no troubles in the beginning and maybe even in the mid game until you get like better items. So first off, we got the early random spear airdrop that is probably one of the best early airdrops that you can pick from the random axe, blade, and bludgeon. So why would you pick early random spear or something like a blade or an axe that has like increased damage or a bleed effect? Well, random spears are good because most likely the enemies are going to have other random weapons that have crafted armor. So the spear is generally better to have because the spear can break through that armor easily, and you can just chip off the enemy's health bit by bit after you get that armor off. So out of these early airdrops, probably the best one to pick is the random spear. Of course, if you have something else in mind, be free to pick it. Of course, this is just my weapon of choice, but yeah. Now, as for the perks that I'm going with are the Backpacker, Cannibal, and the Master Crafter. Why would you go with these three and not with something else? Well, first off, Backpacker is probably one of the best early game perks to have because you can stash up to 5 items in your backpack. That includes like extra armor or something like a grenade or a caltrops or just a bow. Generally, bow is good to have against the enemies so you can, just chip off their health by range attacks. And also with the backpacker, you can also, of course, pick up some extra items that you can sell. And that goes towards items that you can get from hollows like guns or maybe a good bow or a higher tier weapon. Now, as for the perk 2, Cannibal, Cannibal is generally or most likely the best perk that you can have when you want to play early game battles because it restores additional health and it gives you full stamina. So after killing an enemy, you're pretty much ready to go again with the full stamina, and you can either chase the enemy or run away if you have a lower HP pool from them. But all in all, the Cannibal is really good if you're fighting multiple enemies, and it gives you extra chance of surviving multiple people just chasing you away. So if you're an aggressive player, I suggest that you pick this perk over anything else before you pick something. Now, as for the perk 3, the Master Crafter, some people prefer to pick the Load Dropper instead of the Master Crafter because Load Dropper gives you the airdrop much faster and you can like fight much earlier. But of course, if you are, willing to wait 15 to 30 seconds to actually get your drop and you're certain that the enemy is not gonna go for it, I certainly suggest you to pick Master Crafter over the Load Dropper. But if you want the a really aggressive airdrop, I would suggest picking the Load Dropper. Of course, if you're playing solo, I would suggest Master Crafter. But of course, if you're playing 2 versus 2 matches, I would strongly suggest picking a Load Dropper over Master Crafter because the chances are that you're most likely gonna find an enemy in 2 versus 2 rather than in 1 versus 1. So before you start a match, if you're playing 2 versus 2, change your Master Crafter for the Load Dropper. Now, all the perks that I've just listed are, of course, my personal pick. You could change some of those, but I suggest that staying with the Backpacker and Cannibal is probably the most important thing to have when you're fighting in the early game, and it just benefits you overall if you want to farm those funk points and get like hollow weapons like rifles or just better bows. But yeah, I mean, this build is pretty much fun. You can tweak around with the airdrops and the perks, as I said, but overall it's really good. If you're an aggressive player, you're gonna get a lot of kills and a lot of funk, and the game is probably gonna finish much faster than you think if you can get so much funk and get like a man tracker and just hunt down the rest of the people that are alive. But yeah, I hope you guys really enjoyed me presenting this kind of build. I've really enjoyed playing it, and I hope you will too. And if you like this build, of course, click that like button and subscribe to the channel if you want. It's really optional, but if you want to support the channel, do it. And yeah, share the video if you want it. I'll be making more of the culling videos, and I hope you guys will enjoy playing culling yourself. But until next time, guys, you have fun, and I'll be seeing ya. Goodbye.